beloved listener, take a breath, because what you're about to hear is not ordinary. This moment was written long before you arrived, hidden in the rhythm of divine timing. You are not here by mistake. Something deep within you has already recognized that truth. For weeks, maybe months, you felt an unexplainable stirring, like your spirit has been leaning towards something it can't quite name. That's not anxiety, that's alignment. Heaven has been whispering your name through circumstances, through dreams, through the quiet moments when your heart refused to rest. You've always sensed that life was more than routines and headlines, more than the noise that keeps people asleep. You've seen through the surface, felt energy others couldn't explain, and questioned things most were too afraid to ask. That awareness isn't a burden. It's a birthmark of destiny. You were wired to notice what others ignore, to feel what others dismiss, to awaken before the rest. If these words find you now, it's because heaven has been guiding your steps with surgical precision. Every delay, every disappointment, every strange coincidence, it was all recalibration, setting the stage for your activation. You are not behind. You are right on time. The unease you felt lately is not chaos. It's a vibration of purpose approaching. Something powerful is happening, and you were chosen to perceive it. You are part of a rare generation that hears the quiet shift before the storm. That inner pulse you feel is heaven's signal, an invitation to rise, to remember who you are, and to take your place in what's coming. So stay with me. Don't scroll away, because what you're about to understand will confirm everything your soul has been trying to tell you. You are not imagining this. You are awakening, and heaven has just called your name. There's a change on the horizon, massive, undeniable, and disruptive. Systems built on deception are cracking under their own weight. The networks humanity trusted, voices of power, platforms of influence, even figures dressed in morality, have been quietly woven into an agenda of confusion. It's not chaos by accident, it's design. While the world scrolls through distractions and calls it peace, a quiet spiritual tremor is shaking the foundation of everything familiar. And those who carry light, those chosen to see through the fog, are being stirred awake. You can feel it in the atmosphere, something sacred and unsettling at the same time. This isn't about fear, it's about foresight. When God alerts the awakened, it's not to frighten them, but to fortify them. You've been marked to perceive what others dismiss. The delay, the isolation, the inner urgency, they were all training. While many chase comfort, you're being refined for clarity. You don't need the world's reassurance. You were never meant to blend in. Your awareness is the evidence of your assignment. The confusion surrounding you isn't a curse. It's confirmation that your spirit is tuned to a higher frequency. If this message hit your soul, don't just scroll. Hit subscribe and stay with the light. So don't explain yourself to those who can't hear. You were chosen to walk paths others can't yet see. This separation is a rejection. It's preparation. The spirit is gathering the watchmen, those who sense the coming shift not as rumor, but as revelation. Something vast is approaching, not a storm of wind, but truth. And when it breaks, the noise will crumble, the masks will fall, and those who prepared in silence will rise in strength. You've been awakened ahead of time because destiny trusts you with early knowledge. You're not here by accident. You're here because heaven chose you to stand ready when the world goes dark. A shift is approaching that will test not only power and technology, but the spirit itself. A silence deeper than any blackout is coming. A stillness that will expose what humanity has built its faith upon. When the noise of the world fades, many will realize they've been living off borrowed light, sustained by artificial energy rather than divine connection. People will panic because they've forgotten how to hear the quiet voice within. But those who carry inner illumination will not stumble. They will see in the dark. What's ahead is not meant to destroy. It's meant to cleanse, to strip away the counterfeit and reveal what's eternal. This moment will separate the anchored from the drifting. The world will call it crisis, but heaven calls it correction. The systems that once promised safety will crumble to reveal the truth beneath their structure. Every false dependency, money, fame, influence, comfort, will lose its shine. And in that emptiness, God's chosen will emerge as steady lights in the storm. They won't just survive, they'll lead. The silence that terrifies others will become their sanctuary. Now is a time to withdraw from the static of distraction and attune your heart to frequency of divine instruction. Not everyone who speaks wisdom carries truth. Many wear smiles but harbor poison behind their charm. The gift of discernment will be your greatest defense. Listen beyond words. Watch the fruit, not the performance. Even familiar faces can unknowingly lead you astray if they're walking in blindness. The chosen are not called to follow the crowd. They are called to hear the whisper that others overlook. In this sacred hour, solitude is not exile, it's refinement. God separates to strengthen. The quiet places, the lonely moments, the seasons where no one seems to understand, these are the hidden classrooms where spiritual giants are forged. Great destinies are shaped in unseen places. Just as prophets found revelation in caves and shepherds heard God in the wilderness, your strength is being formed away from the spotlight. If you believe in this mission, drop a $20 donation to keep this truth alive and free. So prepare not with fear, but with faith. Stock your spirit with prayer, discipline, and clarity. Clean out what clutters your mind and heart. This is not about building bunkers. It's about building inner fortresses of peace. Because when the world's noise returns, those who've trained their hearts in silence will stand unshaken. God is not abandoning you to confusion. He's entrusting you with vision. While the world drowns in illusions, the chosen will walk with clear eyes and steady steps. The darkness won't consume you. It will reveal the light that's been waiting inside you all along. Those who carry divine awareness are beginning to notice the whispers of a higher intelligence weaving through their days. Insights come like flashes of light in the dark. Unexplainable, yet too precise to ignore. A dream that feels more like a message than imagination. A thought that won't leave until you act on it. A pull in your chest urging you to prepare, to move, to speak. These are not coincidences. They are coded instructions from above, guidance for those who are listening while the rest of the world sleeps through the warning. Write them down. Guard them. Pray over them. These subtle directions are not mere thoughts. They are blueprints for your survival and assignment in the days to come. You were not chosen just to stand on the sidelines while the world unravels. You were chosen to become light in its darkness. The storms ahead will confuse many, but your task is to bring calm where fear screams loudest. The strength that's being built inside you will be what others cling to when everything else collapses. It won't be easy. You may be mocked, rejected, or misunderstood, but these trials are the forge that shapes your endurance. History has always turned on the shoulders of those who stood firm when the masses trembled. You are being molded into one of them, a steady flame in the winds of chaos. Your courage will not only sustain you, it will awaken others. When despair grips the world, you will carry hope that cannot be extinguished. The world will not understand it, but they will feel it. You will become a compass when maps fail, a voice of peace in the uproar. This calling is not about comfort. It's about purpose. Every act of obedience, every moment of sacrifice, every time you choose faith over fear, you are building invisible strength that will one day become visible salvation for others. Preparation now goes beyond storage and supplies. It's about readiness of the soul. Build what you need in the natural world, yes, but fortify what matters most in the unseen. Discipline your mind, strengthen your faith, and feed your spirit daily. When others crumble, your stability will be a refuge. The true preparation is not hoarding, it's transforming. God is training his chosen to become the pillars that hold steady when the structure of the world bends. In this sacred training, divine signs will guide your steps. Patterns in numbers, recurring visions, inner nudges that echo louder than logic. These are signals meant for you. Don't dismiss them. They are coordinates for your mission, the language of heaven speaking through everyday moments. Sometimes a warning will be a feeling in your gut, a hesitation before stepping into danger, or a sudden peace that confirms your next move. These moments are proof that God's hand is not distant. It's directing. Others may call it coincidence, but the awakened know it's confirmation. Your life is not random. It's aligned, timed, and chosen. The signs are not to scare you, they are to steer you. Follow them boldly, for they will lead you straight into destiny. The language of the unseen speaks in gentle codes, through patterns, sensations, and impressions that reach deeper than words. Dreams that seem ordinary at first glance begin to unfold with hidden meaning. A sudden thought that appears out of nowhere carries divine precision. A quiet feeling of urgency presses on the heart, impossible to ignore. These are not random sparks of imagination. They are the coordinates of heaven's direction. Write them down. Pray over them. They are spiritual roadmaps sent to those awake enough to follow them when the noise of the world grows deafening. In the days ahead, these inner signals will serve as a compass, guiding the faithful through confusion. The voice that feels like intuition is often revelation dressed in stillness. If this spoke to your spirit, subscribe and stand with those who see beyond the illusion. The path of divine calling is not paved with comfort. It's shaped through sacred solitude. The price of seeing what others cannot is often the ache of feeling unseen. It's not the emptiness of being unloved, but the awareness that you walk in a rhythm others can't yet hear. This quiet separation purifies the soul. It cuts the cords of dependency on approval and teaches reliance on divine assurance. It's where the heart learns to hear the whisper of heaven without the interference of human noise. Every prophet, every reformer, every chosen vessel has walked through this sacred emptiness. The wilderness, the waiting, the silence. They are not evidence of abandonment, but a preparation. When the world trembles, those who have been trained in silence will move with clarity. You are one of them. The isolation that once felt like exile will reveal itself as training for command. Strength, courage, and divine insight are being carved into you in secret. Soon the instructions will come, clear, direct, undeniable. You will find resources appearing when you need them, helpers crossing your path without explanation, doors opening in moments that make no sense to logic. This is not coincidence. It's coordination from above. The wilderness that once drained you will become the ground of your authority. You are not being hidden. You are being sharpened. In the coming shift, panic will spread like wildfire, and fear will become the world's new currency. But your peace will defy it. You will stand like an immovable mountain in a world collapsing under its own weight. People will be drawn to your calm because it will carry the fragrance of heaven. You won't need to preach. Your presence will speak. In a time when faith feels rare, your steadiness will become living proof that God still reigns. That is your assignment, to embody hope when despair is fashionable. This is your call to rise, not someday, but now. The preparation is over. The activation has begun. Strengthen what remains. Pray with discipline. Learn what you must. Build both your shelter and your spirit. The darkness ahead is not your enemy. It's your stage. The systems of men will fail, but the ones anchored in divine truth will not fall with them. You were chosen not to hide from the storm, but to guide others through it. What the world calls collapse, heaven calls awakening. And the time for your light to stand tall in that awakening is here. Every season of collapse hides a divine reconstruction. What appears as ruin is often heaven's way of rebuilding from the foundation up. The breaking you feel is not destruction, it's realignment. When the structures of comfort fall apart, the illusions fall with them, leaving only truth. In that sacred emptiness, the spirit begins to awaken, free from a noise that once numbed its purpose. Crisis becomes a tool that prunes what no longer fits your destiny, clearing space for the expansion waiting on the other side. What looks like loss is often rebirth in disguise, a quiet rewriting of your future by divine design. It's in the stillness between what ended and what's next that heaven teaches you to listen differently. The quiet moments that once felt unbearable become classrooms of revelation. You start to sense divine presence, not in the thunder, but in the whisper. These periods of pause refine your spirit like gold through fire. What you gain isn't always visible. It's peace where there was fear, clarity where there was confusion, and strength where there was exhaustion. The greatest blessings are often hidden in what first felt like abandonment. Hardship becomes holy ground, and the silence becomes proof that you were never truly alone. When the outer world trembles with scarcity, divine abundance begins its quiet work. What once seemed impossible suddenly unfolds in mysterious provision. Help may come from unfamiliar faces, opportunities may rise out of closed doors, and wisdom may visit you in unexpected hours. These moments are not luck. They are the fingerprints of divine timing. True wealth, the kind that endures beyond crisis, is built not from possessions but from trust. When dependence shifts from the material to the spiritual, the soul discovers its richest supply, peace that cannot be stolen and faith that cannot be shaken. Your $20 gift helps keep the truth shining where darkness try to hide it. And yet, the blessings that reach you are not meant to stop with you. When divine favor flows, it expects movement. It turns receivers into givers. In times of lack, generosity becomes a miracle multiplied. When you share light in the darkness, provision expands beyond measure. This sacred flow transforms need into nourishment and fear into faith. In heaven's economy, giving is not subtraction, it's multiplication. Isolation, too, carries purpose. What feels like exile is often the birthplace of influence. Throughout time, those who carried the greatest missions walked alone before they were elevated. Solitude molds visionaries into leaders. It's a training ground where patience becomes power and resilience becomes wisdom. Standing firm in loneliness forges a strength that crowds can never build. Soon, what was hidden in silence will rise into visibility. The lifting won't just change your circumstances. It will amplify your calling. Elevation is not about position, but purpose. New partnerships will form, unexpected doors will open, and your name will be whispered in places you've never entered. The light within you will begin to draw recognition because it was never meant to stay concealed. This isn't the beginning of success. It's the unveiling of preparation. A global shift is underway, a rearrangement of influence, wealth, and authority. The unseen is moving resources into the hands of those with pure intent and unshakable integrity. This isn't a transfer of greed, but a stewardship. Those with divine hearts will be entrusted with the tools to heal, to build, to restore. You will find yourself managing blessings not for status, but for service. The abundance that arrives will be strategic, positioned to shape lives, sustain communities, and advance what is sacred. The wealth that comes will not weigh you down. It will lift others through you. What begins as provision will end as transformation. Every generation produces a remnant, souls tempered by challenge and entrusted with restoration. The season that's unfolding is not about survival. It's about inheritance. The faithful are being positioned as caretakers of a new spiritual and material order, equipped to manage blessings not for vanity, but for vision. What's coming is not random prosperity, but divine delegation, resources, influence, and wisdom entrusted to those who can carry them without corruption. The new leaders are not chosen for their status, but for their surrender, not for their ambition, but for their alignment. They are being raised in silence, tested in obedience, and revealed in divine timing. True authority is not handed out. It's forged in endurance. Those who walk through fire without losing faith are now being called to stand as pillars in the reconstruction of a broken world. The institutions that once held power are collapsing, but their fall is clearing the stage for voices rooted in truth. These are leaders who will not manipulate but mend, who will not dominate but direct with compassion and clarity. Influence will no longer be measured by applause, but by integrity. In the coming shift, leadership will look like service, and greatness will be proven through humility. Protection in this season is not about escape from hardship, but endurance through it. The divine covering that surrounds the faithful is unseen yet unbreakable, a quiet preservation of spirit and purpose when the world shakes. Miracles will not always appear spectacle, but as subtle interventions, a closed path that saves you from harm, a sudden knowing that redirects your steps, an unexplainable peace in chaos. This is divine defense operating beneath the surface, sustained by trust. Fear may visit, but it will never rule. Those anchored in faith will find themselves standing when stronger voices fall silent. From that stillness, something powerful begins to stir, dormant gifts awakening within the chosen. The gifts of insight, courage, discernment, and healing are rising to the surface, shaped by prayer and sharpened by adversity. These aren't random talents. They are divine tools for the rebuilding ahead. The faithful are being equipped not merely to survive, but to transform their surroundings. The same trials that tested them will now testify for them. The more the darkness grows, the brighter their gifts will function, turning confusion into clarity and despair into direction. And though loss may have visited, it will not have the final word. Restoration is woven into the fabric of divine justice. What was stolen, peace, purpose, connection, will return, refined and multiplied. The waiting may have felt endless, but patience was the soil where increase took root. Every season of lack prepared the heart to handle abundance with wisdom. When restoration comes, it will carry more than replacement. It will bring revelation. What was once a wound will become a wellspring of strength. This entire global shaking is not chaos, it's calibration. Systems are being rewritten, structures dismantled, and truth elevated. This divine reset is not the end of civilization, but the cleansing of its foundation. The faithful will not merely watch this shift, they will shape it. Builders are rising who will create a new order rooted in fairness, compassion, and sacred purpose. The work may begin quietly, unseen by the world, but its echoes will reach generations. The blueprint of heaven is unfolding, and those who have endured with integrity are now being invited to help design what comes next. This is the beginning of a new stewardship, a movement where those purified by trial lead with divine authority and rebuild with unshakable love. Every hidden labor eventually meets its unveiling. What you've done quietly, what you've endured without recognition, is about to be seen. Heaven never overlooks the details that earth forgets. Each unseen sacrifice, each moment you chose faith over fear, has been recorded in eternity's balance. The time is near when those secret seeds will bloom into visible harvests. Yet this rising isn't about spotlight or applause. It's about validation from the divine, a sign that faithfulness was never wasted. The fruit of endurance won't just feed you. It will overflow into generations, communities, and hearts still searching for hope. There's a divine network forming, a web of souls who were scattered across nations yet carry the same frequency of purpose. They are being drawn together, not through organizations or doctrines, but through alignment of spirit. These alliances will form quietly at first, connections that feel ordained rather than coincidental. Each meeting, each conversation, will serve a larger tapestry unseen by human eyes. The chosen are being linked for impact. Together they will carry power that multiplies in unity, strength that defies distance, harmony that silences division. What was once isolation will soon reveal itself as divine positioning for collective influence. True unity demands more than agreement. It requires surrender. Forgiveness, humility, and patience will forge a brotherhood and sisterhood capable of withstanding the storms ahead. Through this oneness, strength will multiply and divine strategy will emerge. Partnerships born in prayer will do what politics never could: heal, build, and restore. As the darkness intensifies, these hearts united in purpose will shine with a radiance that draws others out of confusion and despair. Pain, though unwelcome, has been one of your greatest teachers. It carved wisdom into your spirit, deepened empathy, and birthed courage that cannot be faked. What once felt like breaking was, in truth, the forming of spiritual authority. Those who endure suffering without losing compassion emerge as healers, mentors, and visionaries. The scars become maps guiding others out of the same wilderness. Every wound is being transformed into a testimony, every heartbreak into a tool for healing. The power to lift others comes from what once tried to bury you. This next phase will not unfold slowly. It will move like lightning. Lessons that once took years will come in days. Skills, insights, and opportunities will appear with divine precision, because the time for hesitation is over. Heaven is accelerating those who have been refined. The assignments ahead are too great for delay. What once felt like waiting was simply preparation for sudden expansion. You'll find yourself in new roles, carrying wisdom beyond your years and strength beyond your limits. And in that momentum, favor will follow. Doors that once refused to budge will swing open effortlessly. Encounters that shift destiny will appear without warning. These are not coincidences. They are divine intersections. Miracles will replace explanations. A stranger's word will confirm your next step. An unexpected opportunity will meet a silent prayer, and peace will arrive in moments that should have broken you. These moments are not random. They are the fingerprint of a faithful creator weaving your story into a masterpiece. You are stepping into a time when reward, restoration, and revelation collide. The world may call it luck or timing, but heaven calls it fulfillment. The harvest isn't coming. It has already begun to rise beneath your feet.